What's going on, guys? I'm Mike Echoes, and welcome back to a little bit different of a video than we're used to. Um, for those of you who didn't know, I started my game development and design degree at Full Sail University back in April, March, sometime around then. I can't remember. Time it's kind of gotten away from me, but yeah. And this month we had to do project piece for our portfolio, and I figured I would share it with you guys. Preface this by saying everything you see I've built from the ground up. The only thing that I didn't make were the animations and meshes, like all the art assets. I didn't make them myself, but they are free use, so I can use them in my project and not face any copyright stuff for using them. I did all of the coding. 90% of the animation coding I did, and the only thing the character could do was walk around and jump when I started. So, that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. So we come into our level and grab our first spell and talk to Artemis. Welcome to Floating Rock Traveler. I'm Artemis, and I'll be your guide through this first world. Well met, Artemis. Learn to use your first spell well. It's a simple magic ball, but it can be used for more than fighting bad guys. Use it on platforms to give them a jolt of magic. Understood. Kind of put that in there just to let the player know, hey, you can use the spell ball to activate the floating platforms. Come across. Took a lot of inspiration from Spyro. There's going to be hidden gems around the levels, and there's 500 in total, 3 artifacts, and a bunch of keys that I've hid to unlock doors. Collect these gems up. I did this glide spell myself. The animations were there, I just rigged them. Did all the coding for the floating platforms. Did all the coding for the spell ball. All the UI elements I did myself, except for the hotbar icons. I got those off of a website. Come up on our first enemy. It has pretty decent AI. It'll follow you around. It'll attack you. And then when you get out of its detection range, it'll go back to its patrol point. They take damage. It animates nicely. Death animation. And they drop gems. First artifact. You're doing well, Traveler. You've collected an artifact, I see. Any advice? With a full mana bar, you can make really long glides. I bet you could even make it back to the beginning of this world from up here. Only one way to find out. Thanks, Artemis. Put that in there just so the player knows, hey, if you've got a full mana bar, you 100% can make this glide. I think this is going to be the thumbnail right here. And we made our glide, come back, hit the checkpoint, checkpoints update, and have a fancy little sound effect. Wind tunnels, just like in Spyro. I took a lot of inspiration from Spyro when making this level design. Grab our healing spell. You will inevitably take damage on your adventures. Take this healing spell and keep an eye on your health. Be careful though, you won't be able to move while you're using it. Thanks, Artemis. We've already taken a little bit of damage, so I'll just show off my healing spell. I coded all of this, animated all that, and did the particle effects myself. Take out the goblins. Goblins down. Took a little bit of damage, but I'm not worried about it. A lot of platforming inspired by Spyro. This level design took me forever. Had all the functionality in, and then had 3 days to do level design, and got this little piece of work up in about 72 hours. I wanted it to feel more open world, like a real video game, kind of like Spyro. There's a key door up ahead, so we're going to have to find 3 keys. I hid those around, kind of in obvious places, but not too obvious, like there's one down here. They show up on the HUD, up in the top right. Use my wind tunnel to get back up. Glide over here and pick up the rest of the gems. Up to the top. One of the key things we had to do in this class was come up with 3 different spells. So I came up with the spell ball, the healing spell, which I just healed the last little bit of health we were missing, and another spell that you'll see here in just a minute when we get through this part. Second key. Get our spell ball back out on the hotbar. I think my goblins are a little too easy. Might have to up their speed a little bit. Dead goblin. Heal a little bit. And then make this glide to the locked door. And then the locked door's got a 3 on it, tells us we need 3 keys. I hid the last key back here, put a few gems to coax the player back to the back, and then we've got 3 keys up in the top right. Unlock the door, we've got 0 keys, and there's the second artifact. The level's set up that you can just glide back to the points. So we'll glide over here. Come up. Grab our checkpoint. We'll go ahead and grab the gems that are outside. I did all this grass and the rocks myself, did the building myself, did all of that myself. All the little effects you see I dropped in myself. The wind tunnels I programmed myself to do all the functionality. This spell, there are magical pillars ahead that are quite deadly. Take this force field spell to protect you from them. Any advice? Make sure you have a full mana bar when you're using your force field spell. It drains mana while casting and also drains mana every time you are hit. Understood. This is my favorite spell. It basically slows you down and gives you a force field. Takes a little bit of mana to cast, and then every time you get hit, which these fireballs that are shooting at me right now do a tremendous amount of damage, so you can't survive without the force field. But every time you're hit, it takes mana instead of health. And then my mana bar, my mana system recharges after 2 seconds of your last spell. So we cast the spell ball, 2 seconds, it starts recharging. Or even if we glide, the glide costs mana and it drains over time, and it takes 2 seconds from any spell or magic use to recharge the mana bar. Cast force field again. mana bar charge. Then if you combined Glide with the spell ball, it lets you spam spells, so you can take out enemies with ease. Enemies animate correctly. Last artifact. Last bit of the gems. That'll make 500. And we're done. I hope you guys liked it. I spent well over 100 hours in the development of this project. I really hope that my classmates and my instructors enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed creating it. And I hope you guys, my YouTube viewers, kind of get a kick out of watching me take my journey through my video game development process. It's been a blast. I'm really having a blast making video games and learning how to do it, and hopefully be able to do it for a living one day. Other than that, it's been good to see you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.